Ethan slowly opened his eyes, his head heavy like he had been sleeping for days. The air felt cold and sharp, and the floor beneath him was metal. When he tried to sit up, a soft blue fog rolled away from his body. For a moment he thought he was dreaming. But then he saw the truth. He was not on Earth. He was in a long, dim corridor built from strange black alloy. Blue lights pulsed along the walls like a heartbeat. A deep humming sound vibrated in the air, and the ground felt like it was moving. Ethan grabbed the wall and took a slow breath. Where was he? How did he get here? His last memory was standing outside his apartment during a strange lightning storm. A flash of white light had swallowed him, and then everything went dark. Now he was here. He took one step forward. Metal footsteps answered from behind him. Ethan froze. Two massive alien guards stepped out of the mist. They were almost 8 feet tall, wearing heavy dark armor with glowing runes. Their helmets had long, sharp visors shaped like a bird's beak. Each guard carried a long staff weapon humming with energy. The guards pointed their weapons at Ethan. He raised his hands slowly. Hey. I don't want trouble, Ethan said. His voice shook even though he tried to stay calm. The aliens spoke to each other in a harsh, clicking language. Their voices were deep and angry. One guard took a step closer and made a gesture for Ethan to move. When Ethan didn't understand the gesture, the guard grabbed him by the arm hard enough that Ethan winced with pain. Okay. I'll move, Ethan said. But the guard didn't care. They pushed him forward, forcing him to walk. The corridor opened into a massive chamber full of strange machines. Sparks jumped between floating metal rings. Giant screens showed alien symbols and star maps Ethan had never seen. Everywhere he looked, different species of aliens walked around, some tall, some with glowing skin, some with 4 arms. But they all reacted the same way when they saw him. They stopped. They stared. Some even stepped back like they were scared. Why? Why were they afraid of him? Ethan tried to look around for something on his clothes or skin that might explain it. He saw nothing unusual, just the standard jacket he always wore. Except, the guards kept looking at his neck. Every few steps, one of them whispered something after glancing at the side of his neck. Ethan tried to touch it, but the guard slapped his hand away. Can you at least tell me what's going on? Ethan said. Where am I? Who are you people? He knew they couldn't understand him, but he didn't care. Fear and frustration twisted inside his chest. The guards pushed him through another gate, this one glowing with bright white energy. As Ethan stepped through it, he entered a circular hall. The air felt heavier here, like the room held something important. More guards surrounded him, forming a barrier so he could not run even if he tried. One of the guards stepped forward and grabbed Ethan by the chin, tilting his head to inspect his neck. Ethan pulled away, but the guard only tightened his grip. Let go! Ethan shouted. The guard froze. His visor tilted, staring closely at a small emblem on Ethan's neck, an emblem Ethan didn't even remember having. It looked like a thin line of silver under his skin, shaped almost like a flame or a claw. The guard stumbled backward. The other guard saw it too. His entire body went stiff. His weapon lowered. His hands trembled. Ethan blinked, confused. What? What is it? What's wrong? Ethan asked. But the guards were no longer listening. They spoke rapidly to each other in short, panicked clicks. The air around them changed. Fear. Deep, real fear. One guard fell to one knee. Then the other did the same. Their heads lowered. Ethan took a step back. Hey, stop that. Don't bow to me. I don't know what's happening. The lights in the ceiling suddenly turned red. A loud alarm blared through the station, echoing like a siren in a metal cave. The walls vibrated. Ethan dropped to his knees and covered his ears. A deep voice echoed through hidden speakers. It was in the same alien language, but somehow Ethan felt the urgency in the tone. The guards reacted instantly. They grabbed Ethan again, but this time, not with anger. Their grips were careful, almost respectful. They guided him forward, not forcing him, but hurrying him like he was someone very important. What changed? Why are you suddenly treating me like I matter? Ethan whispered. They did not answer. They brought him to a giant door covered in glowing blue symbols. The door opened on its own with a heavy roar. Inside was a tall room that looked like a throne hall or maybe a courtroom. Alien banners hung from the ceiling. Dark-armored warriors lined the walls. A group of alien leaders sat in a semicircle on high seats. Their eyes, some glowing, some black and unreadable, locked onto Ethan. Whispers spread through them like wind through dry grass. It's him. The marked one. Impossible. He carries the symbol. The ancient symbol. Ethan didn't know why, but his heartbeat slowed. Part of him felt like he shouldn't be here. Another part felt pulled. Like something inside him recognized this place. One of the leaders stood and pointed at the emblem on Ethan's neck. Where did you get that? The leader asked, not in alien language, but in broken English. Ethan's breath caught. This? I don't know. I didn't have anything like this before. I'm just a human. I don't understand what any of this means. The leader's eyes widened in disbelief. You do not know, the leader whispered. You truly do not know. Before Ethan could question him, the lights flickered. The room shook. The alarm grew louder. A new voice boomed through the station's speakers, cold, commanding, and filled with fear. Bring the human to the High Council. Do not anger the marked one. Ethan stared at the guards around him. Marked one? Me? What does that even mean? But no one answered. Every alien in the room slowly lowered their heads toward him. Ethan took a shaky breath. He didn't feel powerful. He didn't feel special. He felt lost, scared, and alone. And yet, something was waking inside the emblem on his neck. A faint glow pulsed under his skin. The guard stepped forward again, this time bowing before touching him. Ethan whispered to himself. What did they do to me, and what am I now? The chamber doors slammed shut behind him. The guards guided Ethan through a long glass bridge suspended over a deep, glowing pit. Blue energy swirled far below, like a storm trapped under the floor. Ethan tried not to look down, but the whole bridge vibrated with every step. He still couldn't understand why everyone was scared of him. Him, a normal human. The kind of guy who fixed broken laptops and forgot his own phone charger. Now aliens bowed to him. And he had a glowing emblem on his neck he never remembered getting. Nothing made sense. The guard stopped at another large door shaped like a half circle. Strange symbols glowed on its surface. They placed their hands on it, and the door slid open with a low rumble. Inside was a huge round chamber. The ceiling displayed a moving night sky full of stars, entire galaxies spinning slowly like they were alive. In the center stood a high platform surrounded by floating rings of metal. Strange machines hummed softly. 7 alien council members stood waiting. Each one was different, one had 4 arms, one had a long silver face like a serpent, one floated above the ground without legs. But each one stared at Ethan with the same expression. Fear. And awe. As Ethan stepped inside, they bowed their heads slightly. The guards stepped back but did not leave. They stood at the edges like silent shadows. Ethan's voice trembled as he spoke. Can someone please explain, what is happening to me? The serpent-faced counselor glided forward. Its body moved like liquid metal. You carry the emblem of the fallen starborn, it said in slow, careful English. The mark of a race we believed gone forever. Ethan touched his neck gently. I don't even know what that means. I'm human. I didn't have anything like this before. The council members exchanged unsettled looks. The 4-armed counselor lowered his head. Then the stories were true. The Starborn left their final power in the hands of children, creatures who would not understand its weight. Ethan frowned. Children? I'm not a child. No, the serpent replied. But compared to the Starborn, your species is young. Very young. Ethan stepped back. Okay, fine. But what do the Starborn have to do with me? This time, the floating counselor answered, its voice echoing like a whisper inside Ethan's mind. They were the greatest warriors the galaxy ever knew. They commanded fleets with a word. Their power bent energy in matter. And every empire feared them. Ethan laughed nervously. Well, I'm definitely not one of them. The floating figure tilted its translucent head. Perhaps not by blood. But the emblem has chosen you. It only awakens for those who carry the same courage. The same heart. Ethan felt a chill move down his spine. He didn't feel brave. He felt like a guy who wanted to go home, eat pizza, and forget aliens existed. The serpent-faced counselor reached out a soft, glowing hand. Ethan felt a strange warmth on his skin. When you arrived, the emblem recognized danger, it said. It glowed because it sensed an old enemy rising. Ethan's eyes widened. Enemy? What kind of enemy? Before the counselor could reply, the chamber doors blasted open. A massive alien warrior stormed inside, pushing the guards aside like toys. His armor was black and crimson, and long spikes curved from his shoulders. His voice boomed like thunder. Stop this nonsense! The council members stepped back. Ethan instinctively did the same. The warrior pointed at Ethan with fury. This human is a fake. The Starborn died centuries ago. Their power is gone. The emblem is a trick designed to control us. The serpent-faced counselor hissed. Warlord Droxen, you were not invited here. Droxen marched forward, ignoring them. His eyes glowed dark red, locked on Ethan. I know what this is, he growled. A human playing hero. A weak creature pretending to be chosen. Ethan swallowed hard. I'm not pretending anything. Believe me, I want to go home. Lies. Droxen roared. Humans spread fast. They breed fast. They learn fast. They will rise like the Starborn once did and crush everything in their path. He pointed at Ethan again. If he is allowed to live, Earth becomes a threat. I will destroy it myself. Ethan felt his blood freeze. Destroy Earth? No. No. He stepped forward without thinking. You touch my planet and I'll. But before he could finish, the emblem on his neck pulsed. A sharp light spread across the chamber, bright enough to blind everyone. Droxen roared and shielded his face. The counselors fell back in shock. The floating rings around the platform began to spin. Screens lit up. Machines hummed. The floor shook. Ethan felt something like a memory that wasn't his. Like someone whispering inside his mind. Protect. Stand. Do not fear. Then, behind him, a faint hologram formed a tall armored figure with glowing eyes, its outline flickering like a ghost. A Starborn. The counselors gasped. Droxen stepped back in horror. Impossible. The hologram leaned close to Ethan's ear, though only he could hear the words. Human, you must choose. Lead, or let them fall. Ethan's heart pounded in his chest. Sweat covered his hands. He felt the entire room watching him. Every alien. Every counselor. Even the warlord who wanted to destroy his world. The hologram faded slowly, leaving only silence. Ethan took a shaky breath. I don't want to lead anyone. I don't want war. I want peace. I want answers. Droxen snarled. You will give no answers. I will take your head and end this lie. He charged. Weapons hummed. The guards panicked. The counselors shouted warnings. Ethan stumbled back until the emblem flashed again. A sudden burst of energy exploded from his neck. A shimmering shield appeared around him like a bubble. Droxen slammed into it and the shield threw him back harder than a cannon blast. The warlord crashed into the wall and sank to one knee, shaking with rage. "You dare," Droxen growled. "You dare use starborn power against me?" Ethan stared at his own hands, breathing fast. "I didn't do anything. This thing is acting on its own." The Serpent Counselor turned toward Ethan, fear now replaced with something else. "Hope. You do not understand your power," it whispered. "But the galaxy is changing. The emblem woke for a reason." Another alarm blared, different from before. "Deeper. Louder. Dangerous." A voice spoke through the speakers. "Emergency signal detected. Warlord Droxen's fleet approaching. All ships preparing for battle." Ethan froze. Droxen smirked, standing tall despite the shield's impact. "My fleet will crush this station. Then we will go to Earth. This ends now." The counselors looked at each other with dread. War had begun. And Ethan was right in the middle of it. The station shook violently. Alarms blared like 1,000 roaring engines. Red lights flashed across the walls. Ethan stumbled as he was guided to the center of the council chamber by the silent guards. His neck burned where the emblem glowed brighter than ever. Outside the massive transparent walls, Ethan saw them, Droxen's fleet. Hundreds of warships, black as nightmares, their cannons glowing red. The council's defense fleet, equally large but hesitant, scrambled to intercept. Ethan realized Earth itself was defenseless, far across the galaxy, relying entirely on him. The council members were frantic, shouting in their strange languages. Some glanced at Ethan with hope, others with fear. But the floating starborn hologram appeared again, hovering above him, whispering words only he could hear. "Human, you are the bridge. Protect them, or they will fall." Ethan clenched his fists. His mind was a whirlwind. He had no training, no weapons, no armies of his own. Just this glowing emblem on his neck and the instinct it carried. "Then I will protect them," he whispered to himself. "Even if I don't understand this power. I will try." Suddenly, the emblem pulsed violently. Energy rippled through the chamber, shaking the floor. The starborn technology hidden in the station responded. Weapons systems activated. Shields formed around the station, forming a dome of pure light. The guards gasped, even the counselors stared in awe. Ethan stepped forward. For the first time, he felt a strange connection with the station, as if it obeyed him instinctively. Machines and weapons aligned. Drones hovered into formation. The emblem burned like a small sun under his skin. Outside, Droxen's fleet fired. Massive blasts streaked toward the station, but the shield absorbed them. Sparks of energy cracked in the air as alien beams ricocheted. Droxen screamed into the open air, furious that his weapons were useless. "You dare defy me, human!" Droxen bellowed. "You are nothing but a weak creature." Ethan raised his hands instinctively. Energy burst from the emblem, striking Droxen's flagship. A shockwave of light tore through the sky, forcing the warlord's ships to retreat. The counselors and guards stared. Ethan felt the power coursing through him, but he was terrified. He didn't want to be a warrior. He didn't want war. But every instinct in the emblem urged him to fight, to protect. Droxen's ship broke through the station's defenses and landed in the central courtyard. He emerged like a living storm, his armor black and glowing with crimson cracks. The ground shook as he advanced toward Ethan. The guards tried to stop him, but Droxen swatted them aside with terrifying strength. Counselors screamed, some retreating to hidden chambers. Ethan's heart pounded. He knew if Droxen reached him, everything would end. The emblem pulsed again. This time, a memory flashed in Ethan's mind, the Starborn, the ancient warriors, leading fleets and commanding entire galaxies. He felt their courage, their strategy, their confidence. A surge of clarity replaced his fear. Droxin swung a massive weapon, aiming for Ethan. The emblem reacted. A shield of radiant energy expanded around him, blocking the strike. Sparks flew. Droxin growled, surprised by the raw power coming from a single human. Ethan realized something crucial: he didn't have to fight like the Starborn. He had to think like them. He didn't need brute force, he needed strategy, instinct, and the emblem's guidance. He focused. Energy projected from the emblem, controlling the station's drones. They formed walls, barriers, and directed laser strikes. Droxin struggled, overwhelmed by precision strikes he could not anticipate. Every attack was deflected, every move countered. The warlord roared and charged Ethan directly. But Ethan remembered the Starborn whisper: protect. Stand. Do not fear. He braced himself, pulsing the emblem. A wave of energy radiated outward, lifting Droxin and his armor into the air. The warlord slammed against the station walls repeatedly, unable to land a strike. Finally, Ethan extended his hands forward. Light surged from the emblem, binding Droxin in glowing chains of pure energy. Droxin struggled, his eyes wide with shock and fury. "You, how, a human?" he whispered, almost choking. "Impossible." Ethan stepped closer. "I'm not pretending. I'm not a god. But I will protect my world. And I will stop anyone who threatens it." The chains tightened. Droxin's fleet, seeing their leader restrained, hesitated. Many ships retreated, leaving only a few damaged ones hovering in orbit. The remaining counselors, still in shock, looked at Ethan with reverence. For the first time, a human, not a Starborn, had commanded the power to stop a warlord's fleet. Ethan's chest heaved. He felt the emblem fade slightly, the energy returning to a gentle glow. His hands shook. Guards approached, bowing. "You have saved us all." "Marked 1," one whispered. Ethan looked out at the stars. His home, Earth, far away, safe for now. He realized the weight of what had happened. The emblem had chosen him not because he was the strongest, but because he had courage, even when he didn't understand what he was doing. But then the emblem pulsed again, stronger than before. A new symbol appeared beneath the first, strange and dark, twisting like a shadow across his skin. The air grew cold. The station vibrated. A whisper echoed through Ethan's mind. "They are coming." Ethan's eyes widened. The war was over, for now. But a new threat, far greater than Droxin, loomed on the horizon. And the galaxy would once again turn to the human they called the Marked One. He took a deep breath, gripping his chest where the emblem glowed. The journey was far from over. He was no longer just a human. He was a symbol, a bridge between worlds. And the choices he made next could decide the fate of countless stars. Ethan looked at the counselors, the guards, and the stars beyond the station. A calm determination settled in him. Whatever came next, he would face it. Because now, the galaxy knew, humans were not weak. Humans could rise. And one human, him, had already begun.